What's up, y'all? It's your girl J Renee with Prison Ride Radio. I hope that you're doing well. I got the brother Thomas Lee Trent on the phone. This time he's gonna pull up on us and he's gonna tell us about some of the things in his case that he wants to talk about. Some of the representation that he had, some of the issues. So we're gonna give him an opportunity to talk about it. All right, you there, bro?
Yeah, I'm there.
All
Peace and
right.
blessings to everybody who's paying attention to us who's by radio. So with me in regards to my case at the age of 17, I was charged with 2 counts of second degree murder at the age of 17. One was done unintentionally, and something just so happened in the same night for, me repeatedly being robbed in the past by someone who was family who was a lot older than I was. A lot of this stuff still extends from, domestic violence and, psychological abuse and living in fear from prior things in my life, my mom's death and, prior incarceration and stuff like that. But, in regards to my case, all from homicide detectives to district attorney to my first actual lawyer who I had on my case, which was Henry O'Brien, and who had to be fired and then obtain another court-appointed attorney, which was Harvey Arnold. All knew that I had killed this one person intentionally, but they still both they plead guilty to 2 counts of second-degree murder when they know I didn't kill one person intentionally. Because of their age with, lack of education and not being able to quote law, not being able to read, write, and spell, it was ineffective in the counsel for me and my lawyers who I had at that time. They didn't put up with this and fight for me in no way that I felt that was needed, and actually encouraged me to plead guilty to that, even though they knew there was some things that was off balance in the case. So not only did they lock someone up and charge them with accessory of murder to my case, who had nothing to do with my case, the person who they locked up and charged for accessory of murder for having material, which was clothing, which that's not something that I personally gave it to. They actually charged this person with accessory of murder and then had them locked up, going back to court and telling this person that the only way they're going home is if I plead guilty to those murders, or when it's time to go to trial, that he get on the stand and testify and state this, and this. So because of the person not having any involvement whatsoever in my case and done no wrong, I end up pleading guilty just to free that person. And not only did I plead guilty to free that person, I also moved right then and there the malicious prosecution and the illegal thing that was being done to me in the system of my case. Because whenever you get locked up and the courts assign you a court-appointed attorney, they gave that same person who they locked up and charged as accessory to my crime the same attorney. So that lawyer I actually fired because he was saying that he couldn't get no help, couldn't get nothing involved in my defense or anything. So I'm like, it makes no sense for you even being my lawyer, so I'm requesting for you to be off this case. So once they took Henry O'Brien off my case, they assigned Harvey Arnold, addressed to 206 North Avenue, Riverhead, New York, 11901 at that time. And the person who they was charged for accessory, they gave him the same attorney again. So now it's become a conflict of interest. So now I plead guilty. They let my brother go. So now when it comes to get sentenced, and they said when it comes to the case of Kevin Walker, one count of 125.25 murder out of UP. Not guilty. I plead guilty because this is someone who was robbing me a couple of times. So I got tired. accepting. And they said when it comes to the case of Antoine Martin, second-degree murder, how do you plead? I pled not guilty. So the judge, Anthony Corso, looked at the counsel, which was the assistant district attorney and Mr. Arnold, said counsel was going on. I thought we had an agreement. He was coming in here to plead guilty. So when I asked the judge to speak, he let me speak. So I said, Your Honor, both forensic homicide detectives stated that they knew that I didn't kill Antoine Martin intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
And that they said still going to force me to plead guilty to murder. I plead guilty to manslaughter in the first, or how come no one is giving me self-defense or manslaughter in the first? So the judge told me to shut up. So I spazzed on the judge, I spazzed on the bill, went off on the lawyer, went off on the district attorney because they all saying, yo, I thought we had agreed. I'm like, no, that's what y'all wanted me to do. I didn't agree to that. I agreed to plead guilty to this person's murder to let my brother go because my brother had nothing to do with it when I'm locked up for.
Right.
So not only that, they said, we know you didn't kill Antoine Martin intentionally. So I'm like, why y'all trying to force me to plead guilty to murder? Because at that time, in 2000, October, they started giving out flat bids for murder.
Okay.
So I would have got flat bid instead of 30 years to life. So just to show enough, I said, you're trying to railroad me because you were the district attorney who was on this person's case who died. And I was present in the courtroom with them when they deceived me to get me to go to court with them on something that I knew nothing about. Now here it is, you're on this case, on my case, and you're doing everything illegal to me to this case when you're trying to railroad me. So they keep me out of the courtroom after I went off on them, restrained me, and they instructed Judge Anthony R. Corso told him to scratch everything from the records. And the lawyer, Mr. Arnold, come see me. I said, what am I doing? If I go to trial, I'm going to blow. I'm going to get 50 years to life. And I feel he's not defending me. He told me that he knew my mother, biologically, mother who was rest in peace now, which didn't have anything to do with the criteria change. So once I see that he's not fighting for me, I say, you know what? I'm going to go plead guilty and then come back and fight this later on down. I'm like, once I got my proof of evidence of fact that they knew I didn't kill Antoine Martin intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
So now here it is, almost 21 years later, I filed 440.47 domestic violence and violence justice act motion. And I get signed to ran a lawyer, Christopher Charles Picardo, to do a brief and submit it into the court for resentencing. And now they produced documents to me that states right here in my pre-sentence investigation report that they knew I didn't kill his kid intentionally. It says right here on page 8 in the pre-sentence investigation report, telephone contact was made with Assistant District Attorney Janet Alverson. Alverson explained that the defendant shot two people in two separate incidents. Now, it just said that these incidents are unrelated. One has nothing to do with the other. On October 6, 2000, first shooting involved the death of Antoine Martin. She explained that the defendant and Antoine Martin were friends. The two became involved in an argument while sitting in the car in Cinnamon Ridges. And then now she said two things in one breath. It was believed that they were fighting over a gun. The gun went off, and Martin shot in the abdomen. The defendant fled the scene on foot and got around the riverhead. Around 2 a.m., Antoine Martin's body was found slumped over the steering wheel of the car. That's not murder. And you just admitted that I didn't kill him intentionally, and y'all believe, which I knew y'all had that. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So this is malicious prosecution right now, and also wrongful theory right now, because now this new discovery evidence for me, because now I finally got the documentation that y'all knew all along that I didn't kill him.
So you have new legal representation now?
Right now, I have a lawyer who I just recently got in January, as of January, and we're supposed to be working on the case. But because of how long this process has taken for the past 3 years, I'm scared. I'm scared to not get represented fully correctly because of me having an attorney before this new attorney that I have now. I have for 3 years who did nothing with my case.
Yeah, I understand.
And now he's a judge. Now he's the judge, and no one informed me that he's not my lawyer no more, and he's the judge now. I have to call all over the world, call the courts, write people, get different responses, just for them to tell me in the courts that he's not my lawyer no more because as of last year, November, he's a judge. So when was anybody going to notify me that?
That's crazy.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Aren't they required by law to notify you when your legal representation changes? I thought they were.
say that again. You kind of broke up.
I thought they was required by law to let you know when your legal representation changes.
That's fact. So what I did was when I spoke to, I reached out to the Survivors Justice Project, which deal with the Survivors Justice Act 440.47, and I reached out to Indigenous Legal Services of New York, which is in Albany, and what they did was they reached out to Legal Aid Society and they got the answer that they needed to help change me. They said that my lawyer was not my lawyer no more, and that I was getting a legal call for so long, which I got a legal call on Valentine's Day, which is my new lawyer. So with this lawyer prior to that violated alter attorney's behavior, and at the same time, everything he did was illegal because I never got a legal call from that lawyer not one time. The whole 3.5 years that I have, not one time. Not one time. Now that they see that I know some things about the law, and then I have some things in black and white that prove what I'm speaking on, he try to, we can't do nothing about that. We just want to only focus on this.
Right.
You can't focus on this, not focus on the other when you got two murders all under one indictment. There's unrelated incidents, separate times, separate location, where one don't have nothing to do with the other. That makes it an illegal indictment.
So tell me, answer me this. What do you need or what can the people do to help support you to get you help with this?
This has been on the desk of Kathy Hogan, Tisha James, and now this new lawyer. And now I need all the help I can get to make sure to get the proper treatment that it needs because I've been sitting inside the prison system 25 years, doing my best to make the proper change I need in my life. And the more I do, the more illegal things just keep happening to me from outside the system, to the court system, and inside the Department of Corrections. So I need the right people in my face to advocate and also get to the bottom of this.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So if they fix that, does that mean you'll be able to come home, yeah? What does it mean if they correct that error?
Well, if they correct all the illegal things that happened involved in my case, they would have to let me go because you cannot put two incidents under one indictment that has nothing to do with the other and run it consecutively. You will have to run it concurrently. Or each incident will have to have its own entity of an indictment. So this makes it an illegal indictment.
Okay.
Then when you look at where I got arrested at, I didn't get arrested nowhere on Long Island. I got arrested in Queens. Now you got to look at who arrested me in Queens, who authorized you to come into Queens. Because I wasn't extradited from Queens patient back to Long Island. Everything about that arrest is illegal. So everything about my case from day one was illegal.
Yeah, it's yeah, I've heard about that. Systems doing that, putting two different incidents under one indictment. That seems to be their new way to slip bullshit in through the cracks. That's crazy. But all right, so bro, tell the people how they can if they trying to help you or if they got any advice or whatever, just to reach out to you. How can they do that?
Well, for now, I don't have any web pages. I'm at Auburn Correctional Facility, New York State Prison, Thomas Trent. Their number 018-5112 at Auburn Correctional Facility, 135 State Street, P.O. Box 618, Auburn, New York, 13024. And you also can reach out to Kathy Hogan because my clemency is right there on the desk and under review. Outside of going through the court system, the only one who really can correct this is the governor of the state.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to share? Go ahead.
and to bear with me and to tune into some of the podcast interviews because I got some productive and positive things to bring to the table. And I also got some realistic things that I also bring to the table of corruption and things that constantly keep after us. Now, let me use me for an example.